Morning students, welcome to Surya Vidyaniketan Giddalur. This video for class 7th students subject science. Dear students, previously we discussed about the flower and its parts. Okay, what is a flower? Flower is a reproductive part. Okay, the plant has that there are the two types of parts. One is vegetative parts and second one is reproductive parts. The vegetative parts such as roots, stem and leaves. Flower is the reproductive parts. Okay, the flower has the mainly there are the four parts: calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. So here depending upon the floral parts, okay, there are the two types of flowers is there. If the presence of the floral parts, complete flower and incomplete flower. Okay, here today we will discuss about that complete flower. What is complete flower? Okay, here a flower that has the four or more oils, at least one each of calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium is called a complete flower. If a flower contains that four floral parts such as sepals, petals, stamens and pistil, okay, such flower is called a complete flower. Okay, here for example datura as well as hypomia and hibiscus. If we observe these flowers have that shape, calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. There are the four parts are present. So such flowers are called complete flowers. Okay, in some flowers, okay, here a flower in which any of these such that means calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium, four words is missing, one is missing, so incomplete is an incomplete flower. For example, cucumber, bottle gourd, papaya, these are the incomplete flowers, examples for incomplete flowers. Okay, generally in these flowers, one they either stamen or pistil is present. So there are the two types of flowers is there. One is complete flower and second one is incomplete flowers. Okay, here next one, unisexual flower and bisexual flower. Here what is unisexual flower? A flower which has either stamen or pistil is called unisexual flower if the flower contains either androecium or gynoecium. So in that flower either androecium or gynoecium is present, that flower is called unisexual. Uni means one, so that flower contains only one, that is either male or female reproductive parts. For example, cucumber flowers as well as bottle gourd and bitter gourd, there are the unisexual flowers. Okay, that flowers contains either stamens or pistil. Bisexual flower, okay, in some flowers, okay, the flowers contains both stamens and pistil, androecium and gynoecium. Such flowers are called bisexual flower. For example, datura. If we observe that datura flower, okay, the datura flower contains stamens and pistil, so such flowers are called bisexual flower. Even though hibiscus and mustard also bisexual flowers. Okay, here we know that male reproductive part, that is the stamen. The stamen has mainly there are the two parts is there. One is filament and second one is anther. Okay, the anther contains male gametes in each. Okay, in and inside the anther there are the male gametes is there. They are called pollen grains. Okay, a pistil consists of three parts: stigma, style, and ovary. Okay, the ovary contains the female gametes. Okay, these one or more ovules. Okay, these female gametes or egg is formed in an ovule. Okay, here male gamete and female gamete. Male gamete is the pollen grain, female gamete is the ovule. Okay, here the male gametes are formed inside the anther, the female gametes are formed inside the ovary. Here the male gametes are transferred to the female parts, that is called pollination. Okay, here what is pollination? The transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of a flower. is called pollination. Okay, we as students we know that the male gametes are present inside the anther. So from anther to stigma, stigma is the female reproductive part. Okay, the tip of the pistil. Okay, from the anther to stigma, the pollen grains are reached. This process is called pollination. The transfer, how does they transfer? We will discuss. Okay, here the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of a flower is called pollination. There are the two types of pollination is there. One is the self-pollination. The transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of the same flower is called self-pollination. Okay, generally the self-pollination occurs in the bisexual flower. The transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma. Okay, we know that anther contains male gametes. Okay, from the anther to stigma, these pollen grains are transferred. That is called, which occurs in the same flower. That is the self-pollination. Cross pollination. Okay, here this cross pollination occurs in bisexual flowers as well as in unisexual flowers. Okay, the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma, from anther of one flower to stigma of the another flower of the same species is called cross pollination. So same species in a same plant. Okay, that is called cross pollination. So how many types of pollination is there? There are the two types of pollination. One is self pollination and second one is cross pollination. Okay, dear students, look at this figure. First one is the self pollination. Okay, it is a bisexual flower. In bisexual flower, okay, the anther contains pollen grains. In the same flower, the pollen grains are transferred, okay, from anther to stigma. In second one, these flowers also bisexual flowers. So from one flower, the transfer of pollen grains from one flower to another flower, they reach the stigma of another flower. This is the cross pollination. So how many types of pollination is there? There are the two types. Okay, one is self pollination and second one is cross pollination. Okay, here what is pollination? The transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma is called pollination. Okay, here what are the agents of pollination? Okay, agents of pollination. How do these pollen grain fall on the stigma? How does they reach? Okay, here generally there are the pollinating agencies there such as air, water, animals, insects, human act as agents of pollination. They carry the pollen grains from anther to the stigma. So these pollination agents, they carry the pollen grains from anther to the stigma. Okay, here insects like butterflies, they suck the nectar from the flowers. Okay, we know that the butterflies, honeybees, they suck the nectar. What is nectar? The sweet juices that present in the flower is called nectar. So they suck the nectar from the flowers. At that time, the pollen grains of flower stick the legs of butterfly. When the butterfly goes to another flower for nectar, the pollen grain that have stuck to its leg fall on the that flower. From one flower to another flower, these butterflies carry the pollen grains. So these butterflies act as the pollination agents. The agents of pollination, not only butterflies, okay, insects, okay, as well as human beings, water, okay, they act as the agents of the pollination. Okay, birds and insects are the natural agents. They are the natural agents for the pollination. So when they suck the nectar from the flowers. At that time, okay, these pollen grains are stick to their bodies and they transfer to another flower. Nowadays the farmers use that pesticides to control the pests on crops. So we know that the farmers, they are using the pesticides to control the pests. So the enormous use of the pesticides kill the insects. It affects that pollination. So when the insects are killed, okay, the farmers, when they kill that insects, and okay, it is effects on the pollination process. Crop it become reduced, so they do not get that proper yield. Okay, become reduced in particularly in sunflower crop. The rate of pollination is reduced because of lack of insects in the fields. So unnecessarily the farmers they use that enormous use of the pesticides. It is affecting on the insects. Okay, they kill the pests, so at that moment the pollination rate is becomes reduced. So that's why the farmers unknowingly, so they use that pesticides. Why they use for the to control the pest, but the enormous use of the pesticides they kill that insects and butterflies, so pollination rate will be reduced. Okay students, thank you. Tomorrow we will discuss remaining class.